Till now, we learned about four mathematical representations of regular languages. They are DFA, NFA, NFA with epsilon transitions, and regular grammar. And we proved that all these representations are pairwise equivalent, meaning given one representation of a regular language, there exists a procedure which converts that representation into any one of the other three mathematical representations. Today we are going to see one more mathematical representation for regular languages called regular expression. So what is a regular expression? They are built from the set sigma, which is the alphabet set, union phi and epsilon. So basically expressions built over the alphabets and these two symbols using the operators star, plus and dot, and they represent languages over the given alphabet set. We can see the basic set of regular expressions are built on these objects. The first regular expression is phi, which is directly given here, which represents the language which is null set, no strings. So by definition, phi is a regular expression representing this language. Epsilon is another regular expression by definition which represents this language, just the set epsilon. And for any alphabet A in sigma, the alphabet represents a regular expression representing this language. So any alphabet small a is a regular expression representing the language set A, and these are the basic set of regular expressions. So by definition these are regular expressions representing these languages respectively. Now, before we define more regular expressions, we need to have some notations and definitions. For all languages L over an alphabet set, L to the power 0 represents this language. So regardless of what the given language is, L to the power 0 is set epsilon, just the null string, and L to the power 1 is the given language itself, and L to the power 2 is concatenation of L to the power 1 with L to the power 1. So concatenation of L with L, that is L square. Then L cube is the concatenation of L square with L. We can generalize this and say L to the power I plus 1 is the concatenation of L to the power I with L to the power 1. We can look at some examples. Suppose L is this language, just set AB. Then by definition we know L to the power 0 is set epsilon. So it is regardless of what L is, L to the power 0 by definition is set epsilon. Then L to the power 1 is the given language, L to the power 2 is this language which is obtained by L to the power 1 concatenated with L to the power 1. So concatenation gives you AA, AB, BA, BB. So what will be L to the power 3? This is the language obtained by concatenating L to the power 2 with L. If you apply concatenation, you will get this language. Please verify it offline. Now let us proceed and see what is the star closure of a language. This is the notation L star, which is called the star closure of a language, which is the infinite union defined as this. It is L to the power 0 union L to the power 1 union L to the power 2 union, etc. If you take this infinite union, this is represented as the star closure of the language. The star closure means L concatenated with L 0 or more times. If you take the collection of all such powers of L, including L to the power 0, you are getting the star closure of language. Now we have got enough materials to define a regular expression. So regular expressions are defined recursively or inductively from the basic set of regular expressions phi, epsilon and a. These are the basic set of regular expressions. And the rule goes like this. If R1 and R2 are regular expressions, S is missing, sorry. So R1 and R2 as of now can be any one of these regular expressions. Then R1 plus R2 is a regular expression defining this language or representing this language. The language of R1 union language of R2. So plus is basically set union. R1 R2, R1 concatenated with R2 is a regular expression representing the concatenation of the languages represented by the regular expressions R1 and R2. Now if you take R1 star, it is a regular expression representing the star closure of the language represented by R1. And these are the set of 3 rules defining new regular expressions from the basic set of regular expressions, and thus we have a recursive definition for regular expressions. Now we can look at some example regular expressions and language represented by them. Suppose R1 is this regular expression small a, R2 is small b. By the basic set of regular expressions, they are regular expressions. Now suppose you define R3 as R1 plus R2. Then by definition we know that the language of R3 is the language of R1 plus R2. And by definition it is nothing but language of R1 union language of R2. What is R1? R1 is A, R2 is B. And by definition, the language of the regular expression A is set A, and here it is set B. Union is giving you set AB. Another example, suppose you take R1 dot R2, then the language is the language of the concatenation of the regular expressions, which is by definition the language of R1 concatenated with language of R2. R1 is A, R2 is B, and these languages we know These are the languages. Concatenation is giving you set AB. One more example. Suppose R1 is A plus B and R2 is C. And what is the concatenation of R1, R2 giving you? By definition, R3 is R1 concatenated with R2, and from the semantics of the language represented, this is the language of R1 concatenated with language of R2. We know what is the language of R1 from this set AB. Language of A plus B, which is set AB. Language of C is just set C. If you apply concatenation, you will get AC and BC in the language. So these are very simple languages and their regular expressions. We can see more examples. Now suppose R is a regular expression which is just A, then what is the language of R star? By definition, it is star closure of the language of A because R is A. And from this definition of star closure, we can find what A star is, because the language of A is set A, which is if L is this language, L raised to 0 union L to the power 1 union L to the power 1 concatenated with L to the power 1 union L to the power 2 concatenated with L to the power 1. Likewise it goes, and if you rewrite, you will get it as this language, which is nothing but the set of all powers of A, where I could be greater than or equal to 0. Note that here power means concatenation, not multiplication. Now let us see what is the language of R star when R is A plus B. So that is nothing but the language of A plus B, you take the star closure of it. Okay, what is the language of A plus B? It is set AB. So the star closure of set AB. If you take L as this language, it is nothing but L to the power 0, which is epsilon by definition. This is L union L concatenated with L union L square concatenated with L. Likewise it goes, and if you rewrite, you will get as this language, which is actually the set of all strings over the alphabet set AB. Okay, so note that A plus B the whole star, this is the language A plus B the whole star, represents the set of all strings over AB. Okay, so sigma star in this case is nothing but A plus B star. You can extend it for any finite alphabet. Let us see some more examples. We can see regular expression and their language. So what is this language? Can you guess? You can see that it is nothing but this represents A to the power I for I greater than or equal to 0. Then you have to concatenate it with C. That is the set of all strings of A's followed by C. Similarly here. Now can you guess what language this is representing? Note that A plus B the whole star represents any string over AB. So you can easily observe that it is nothing but the set of all strings over AB such that that string is containing small ABB as a substring. Last example, can you guess what language is represented by this regular expression? Note that A plus B the whole star means any string over AB, and A plus B means either A or B. So last symbol can be either A or B, and the second last symbol is fixed as A, and that is the language. So we can see that here to represent the second and third languages, from among all the 5 representations that we learned, maybe you can find regular expression as the most easiest way of representing these languages. Now we can look at a reverse question where we are given with a language, then how can you come up with a regular expression? You are asked to give a regular expression for this language. The set of all binary strings such that consecutive blocks of length 4 contains even number of ones. Example, this is a string in the language because if you look at consecutive blocks of length 4, this is the first block, then this is the second block, third block, fourth block, likewise it goes. You don't have to worry about this because there is no 4 length block here. So leave the last sequence of bits if it is less than 4. Okay, you can easily verify that here in this block number of ones is 2, here again 2, here 2, and here again it is 2. So if you can verify that in all the consecutive blocks of length 4 the number of ones is even, you have to accept or you have to take it into the language set, otherwise don't take it. So can you think about a regular expression which can precisely represent this language? This is not a very easy question, actually tricky. For the interest of time, I am giving you the solution. You can see that if you look at all the 4 length binary strings, you take those with even number of ones. Here it is 0 number of ones, 2, 2, 2, here again 2, 2, 2, and here 4. These are all the binary strings of length 4 where you have even number of ones. You take any combination of them, okay, any combination of those followed by a string of at most length 3. It could be the last sequence can be empty, after this you can have empty here, or it could be any string of length at most 3. So I hope you are getting me, otherwise try to verify the correctness of this regular expression as a homework exercise. For the interest of time, let me proceed. So now we can recollect what we did in this lecture. Here, regular expressions can be recursively or inductively defined as, the basis for the inductive definition is phi and small a are regular expression. This should be R, where a is an arbitrary alphabet. If you remember, epsilon is missing from this definition. Later we can see why. This is the induction step. Given 2 basic regular expressions, then you can use this step to define any regular expression recursively. If R1 and R2 are regular expressions, then so are R1 plus R2, R1 R2, R1 star. This is what we learned. If you want to look at the semantics, this is the meaning of semantics of phi. It represents this language. For any alphabet small a as a regular expression represents this language. Language of R1 plus R2 is union of language of R1 and language of R2. R1 R2 represents the language which is the concatenation of the languages represented by R1 and R2. And star closure, if you take the R1 star, then the language represented is the star closure of the language represented by R1. This is what we learned. And now we have to answer, why is it that epsilon is not a basic, considered as a basic a regular expression. In fact, it is, but no need to have it as an explicit basic regular expression, because you can easily verify that if you look at 5 star, it's exactly the language represented by epsilon. What is 5 star? 5 star is if L is 5, which is nothing but the empty set, then if you take the star closure of empty set, you will get only empty set as the result. Okay, so you can easily verify that 5 star is actually nothing but epsilon, and that is why I don't have epsilon as an explicit basic regular expression. Later, when we discuss equivalence of regular expressions and say DFA, we can see why we are not having that extra basic regular expression, because that will make the equivalence proof more difficult. With this, we are finishing this lecture, and I am giving you 2 practice questions, and before that let me also tell you about how expressions trees can be used to represent the semantics of regular expressions. This should be trees, sorry for the typo. Now, if you want to see what language is represented by this regular expression, you can use an expression tree modeling it, which will help you identify the language represented. So, these are the basic regular expressions in this A, B and C. From the definition, you know that these are the languages represented. Now, from A, you can obtain the regular expression A star is a unary operator, and A star is representing, this is A star, this part of the tree is representing A star, and this is the language. Similarly, from B, you can obtain B star, and this is the language. Now, you have A star and B star. If you combine them using a plus, you are getting this language, which is nothing but the union of these 2 sets, and this is the star closure of this set, this is the star closure of this set, you can verify. And finally, if you combine these 2 sets using concatenation, you will get this set. Okay, this is actually the semantics or the expression tree for this regular expression, and the language is epsilon concatenated with C, followed by A concatenated with C, followed by B concatenated with C, likewise it goes. So, if you are given with a complex regular expression and you are asked to identify the language, this is a systematic way for you to identify what that language is. And with this, we are stopping discussions and about regular expressions, and I am giving you 2 practice questions. First is you are asked to find regular expressions for these 3 languages, and the second question asks you to identify language represented by using the expression trees for these 2 regular expressions. R2 is a very interesting regular expression. You can try to identify what language is represented. It's very difficult if you just want to look at the regular expression and see what language it is representing, but an expression tree can help you identify what language it is representing. Today, we have seen a regular expression as a mathematical representation for formal languages, and if you recall, you can see that all languages we discussed today with the regular expressions are regular languages, and in the next 2 classes we shall prove that regular expressions represent regular languages. Thank you.